What's up, everyone? Welcome back. If you're new here, welcome. I'm Chris. So let's talk books or book. We're going to talk about book because, yeah. So I did not have a What's Chris been reading in November because in November I chose a really, really large book to read. And when I went on vacation, I thought, oh yeah, I'm going to sit on the beach with my ear pods in and I'm just going to listen to my book. I'm going to listen to my book on the plane. That didn't happen. You know, we'd go to the beach every day and unpack our stuff. He'd put the speaker out. We had music playing and I just didn't feel like listening to my book. I wanted to people watch. I wanted to chat with my boyfriend every now and then, listen to the music, and just relax. I just wanted to empty my head. So I didn't read while I was on vacation. Also, as you know, and I've said before, I do audiobooks because I find that that's the only way at this point in my life I have any time to read a book or listen to a book. Because I would listen while I was working, depending on what I was doing. If I was doing like mindless work, I wouldn't be distracted. So while I'm working, cleaning, if I'm driving in my car, whatever, I'd have my book playing. Now, where was I going with that? See, lost my train of thought already. I lost my train of thought because I was looking down at my notes. What was I saying? Oh, okay. So, being that I was at work 5 days a week, but training somebody, I'm not listening to my book. Then I'm coming home and I'm working some more, but I'm not going to listen to a book on my Alexa because I have to pay attention to my clients. I can't just ignore them and say, okay, be quiet, I want to listen to my book. So anyway, this book was 52-hour book. And the book I chose was The Count of Monte Cristo by, what is it, Alexandre Dumas? Alexandre, I don't know how to pronounce the first name, but it's I think it's Alexandre Dumas. So anyway, this book was 52 hours long. I do not speed up my Audible. You could speed it to 4 times the speed and really cut the time off your books. I do. Well, I'm not going to say don't speed up my Audible. I do. But you know what? 1.2. It's barely noticeable, but you do shave off a couple, and depending on the length of the book, you may shave off a little bit of time off the book. But I don't listen to it at rapid speeds because I want to enjoy it. It's not a race. I want to enjoy the story. And I can't enjoy it if somebody's talking like a chipmunk. I can't do it. That doesn't work for me. So anyway, this book was 52 hours. So I did start it a little bit in November, and then throughout December, I, started to pick up a little bit more listening to it and really putting some time into it. Now, that being said, let's talk about the book. Did I like it? Yes, I did. It's a very, very good book. If you've read it, leave me a comment below and let me know what you thought about it. In print, this book is 1,488 pages. So here's the thing. I think for me, this would have been a book better read in hand rather than audio. And I'm going to tell you why. There is a lot of characters in this book. There's a lot going on. And I think to read the story off the pages would have been better for me. I had a hard time keeping up with all the people in the book. And not only that, the names of the book, they're French. And so it wasn't like John and Joe and Stephen and Melissa and no, the names, and sometimes the author would interchange the names between their actual first name or their last name. So you had to keep up with their first name and their last name and know because he would interchange them. Um, like the Count of Monte Cristo, his name is Edmond Dantes. And I'm saying it like that because the entire story is read with an accent. That too. So you're listening to this accent, and whereas if you're reading it, I'm going to read it like an American accent, right? I would have read it I would have read it Edmond Dantes, you know, but he was like Edmond Dantes, it's just very dramatic. And the woman that he's in love with, he kept saying her name was Mercedes. Well, it's Mercedes. So, and every time he'd say her name, I'm like, oh, that's a pretty name, Mercedes. It's Mercedes, if you were to read the name. So anyway, a lot of people in the book. So possibly one day in the distant future, because it's too fresh, obviously, I'm not going to try to read it now. I would like to read this book in print. I think I would enjoy it more. It's a complicated book in the sense that there's so many twists and things going on, and yeah, but the story is excellent. So let's get to the story. So Edmond Dantes is a young man. He's a sailor, and I believe he was 19. And this is back in the 1800s. And I can't tell you too much of the story without giving a whole lot of it away, but the premise of it is about revenge, and it's the ultimate revenge. And that's why I said there's a lot going on how it twists and how the revenge is formed on everybody. Basically, he was wronged. He was falsely accused and imprisoned and for treason. And he was he was found that because there was a letter that was written, not by him, but it was planted and by these enemies. Not enemies, they were just three nasty men. And he gets sent to prison for being a Bonapartist. Any case, he goes to prison, and this all takes place the eve before his betrothal to Mercedes. Isn't that a pretty name, Mercedes? It's, love of his life. And he gets sent to prison. He doesn't know why he's going to prison. And he's in this horrible place, Chateau Duif. I can't even say it. And it's like solitary confinement in a dungeon. So he spends years not knowing why he's there, what he did. He doesn't know if his beloved is still alive. There was his father who was ill. He knows nothing. And he's in this dungeon in the dark by himself, or so he thought. And for years. And then when it finally gets to him, he's it's at the point where he's like gonna kill himself. So he tries starving himself, and then he starts hearing these sounds, and it's from a cell next to him. He hears this scratching like at the walls and stuff, and that was Abbe Free. Oh, what's his name? Abbe Faria, and he's been in prison, and they befriend each other. And this man teaches him so many things. He teaches him different languages and just about the world, and teaches him many, many things. And this man also knows about a treasure that is buried on the island of Monte Cristo. So he ends up escaping from prison. And I mean, I'm not telling you too much. You know, this is all pretty much, this is just like how the story's kind of starting. I'm not going to get into the rest of it. And I mean, I'm not telling you anything that you're not gonna find on the back cover of the book. Well, maybe a little bit about, you know, this man and whatever, but he escapes. He gets the treasure, and now he's wealthy beyond your wildest imagination. Millions and millions and millions of dollars. So he sets out, and the remainder of the book, the 52-hour book, 1,400-page book, is about, he goes about to get revenge on those who have betrayed him or did him wrong. And so, you know, it gets very twisty, and, you know, it's good. It's a very, very good book. Again, for me, I think I need to read it, because, like I said, there's so many people. The names are not, you know, like I said, they're not everyday names. So it's hard to keep track of who's who and who's this person again, and what happened there? Yeah. But there's a lot. There's a whole lot of stuff woven into this story, and it's an excellent book. Really, really good book. If you're ever up to reading a classic novel, I would highly suggest The Count of Monte Cristo. It was fantastic. And my suggestion would be to read it. It's not impossible. The largest book, I wrote it down here, the largest book that I have ever read, physically read, was Atlas Shrugged by Ayn Rand. And that was 1,184-page book, which was also a very good book. So this would actually exceed that book. Okay, so yeah, that's my book that I read. Just the one. But so I figure while I'm talking about books, I'm going to take because it is the end of the year. I'm going to take this opportunity now to say what my favorite, and I don't have one favorite book, I have two favorite books that I read in 2024. I can't choose one over the other. I just can't. Because they were both so fantastic. I still think about them. To this day, I haven't stopped thinking about them. Every now and then I'll be like, oh, remember that part of that book? Remember this? Oh yeah, that was good. So yeah, they still come to mind. The characters still come to my mind, and the stories still come to my mind. So there are two books for me that were the best book that I read in 2024. And the first one is The Nightingale by Kristen. I'm telling you, get this book. It is historical fiction. Um, it was just such a good book. I mean, phenomenal. Um, Basically, it's World War II France, occupied France. It doesn't start out occupied, but it becomes occupied. And it's two sisters, Isabel and Vianne. Um, Isabel is the younger sister, Vianne is the older sister. Vianne is married and she has a daughter. Um, anyway, the Germans come in to their little town that they live in and occupy. And it's just, there's a lot of, the French resistance. Um, One of them becomes involved in the French resistance. And, but it's a beautiful story. It's a story of strength, what these women endured during this time. People, the concentration camps, people being taken away, wearing the star on your dress, or if you're a Jew. Yeah, that book just, it to this day, just even talking about right now, I got like kind of like goosebumps. It's phenomenal. Just an incredible, incredible story. I like Kristen Hanna as an author. I like the way she writes. I like her style of writing. It's the way she uses words. It's poetic. It's just beautiful. She's just one of my favorite authors. And I'm trying to think. I read The Women by her. I also read The Great Alone. I also read, was it Winter Garden or Night? There was another one I read. I can't remember the name off the top of my head. And I also read the one about the Dust Bowl. That was fantastic too. Um, I can't remember the name. Anyway, she's a good author. Check her out. I suggest The Nightingale. The Women is really popular because I think that's a newer book. But I actually like The Nightingale better than The Women. The Women was very good, but I like The Nightingale better. Okay, so my other favorite book of 2024 was The Stand by Stephen King. Another long book, by the way. Wasn't 52 hours, but it was long. That book was incredible. That was a good book. First of all, Stephen King has a way of writing that he just pulls you in. You become part of the story. Like I felt like when I was reading The Stand, I was walking along with these people. Like I felt like I was there. He has a great knack for transporting the reader into the actual story. Like he brings you there. You're there. Which I think why a lot of people like, which is, no, not a lot of people, I think, which is why I said I was going to pick one horror novel to read. And they're classifying The Stand as a horror novel. And it's not, when I think of horror, that's not what I think of horror. But I'm going to choose a Stephen King book for a true horror novel, one of his horror novels. I'm a little scared to do it because he has that way of really making it real. So, but I'm going to try it. I don't know which one I'm going to read. I'm torn between it and Pet Cemetery. I'm a little nervous about Pet Cemetery because I did see the movie. I'm a little leery on that, but it's been many, many years since I've seen it. So I'm not worried about, like, oh, but I already know what happens. Because I really don't remember. There's only one scene in that movie that sticks with me to this day and just makes me shudder. If you saw the movie or read the story, you probably know it's right in the very beginning of the story. You know what I'm talking about. So, because of that, I don't know if it's a good choice for me. It's a 2-year-old boy, and I don't know if I could handle that. If it's gonna bother me, I don't know. Um, so I'm torn between, like I said, Pet Cemetery or It. I know Salem's Lot is supposed to be phenomenal, but I have a thing with vampires. They scare the shit out of me, to be honest with you. Um, that and devils. I don't like demons. Demons kind of scare me. Yeah, like Rosemary's Baby and The Exorcist. Oh, God, no. No, 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 no. Uh, I'm like a child. I really am. So, let me know if you're a Stephen King fan. I love Stephen King. I read The Green Mile before it was a movie. Phenomenal. There's what else did I read by Stephen King? I did not read Shawshank Redemption, but the movie is probably one of my very all-time favorite movies ever. And Life is Beautiful too, though. That's a good one. That's a good movie. Not Stephen King, but that's a good movie. Um, so I never read Shawshank. I will never read Shawshank because I've seen that movie and watched that movie so many times. I know the script, so I would never even bother reading it. Um, so that being said, I like his writing. I really like his writing. I've just never ventured into his classic horror stories. So if you have any suggestions for me, let me know. I have many books of his on my wish list that I'm planning on picking up. Um, Maybe one day I will read Salem's Lot. Something that sticks with me with Salem's Lot is my mother. I can remember my mother saying that book, I'm going to swear again, that book scared the shit out of her. She's so, and I was young. That stuck with me here, and I thought, oh, that scared the crap out of mom. I'm not reading that book. So, yeah. Let me know. Pet Cemetery or It, or if you have another suggestion. But it has to be a horror. I don't want it to be, like I said, The Stand is supposedly a horror book, and to me that wasn't horror. Um, so let me know. And now I should go back and talk about my favorite book, right? My other favorite book, The Stand. Because I went off track again. There goes my ADD. I'm all over the place. Squirrel. Anyway, let me get some water. Okay, The Stand. The Stand starts out, and this, I'm not giving anything away. The very beginning of the book, there is this virus that gets out of the lab, and it kills almost everybody everywhere. There's very few people left. And now it's like a post-apocalyptic world. And you've got good people and you've got bad people. And the good people seem to be, well, they're both dreaming about the Dark Man, and they're also dreaming about Mother Abigail. So Mother Abigail being good and the Dark Man being bad. The Dark Man is Randall Flagg. And he is kind of like demonic Satan-like, but he's not like a monster, glowing eyes and shit like that. Um, so Randall Flagg is calling all his people in through dreams to Las Vegas. And they're kind of organizing their community there, right? And then you've got the good people that are all being drawn to, is it Oklahoma or Nebraska? Can't remember where Mother Abigail is. And she's a 108-year-old little old black woman, and devout in her faith, and they all flock and gather to Mother Abigail. So basically it's the good versus evil, who prevails in the end. It's the rebuilding of civilizations after the world is almost wiped out. And again, what makes the story so good is just the realism. You really feel like you are in the book with these people. You're walking the desolate streets, and you're coming across these people, and you feel like you're there, like a ghost. I don't know how he does it, but any book I've ever read by him, that's what it does. You are just so pulled into the story and living it with the people and the characters, and the character development that he has of these people, or everybody, every book I've ever read by him. But the characters in The Stand were just amazing. Stu Redmond, Trash Can Man, and what was the Simple Boy's name, or man? It's been a while since I read it. Really, that book was phenomenal. So my two top books for 2024 is The Nightingale by Kristen and The Stand by Stephen King. Let me know in the comments if you've read either of these books and what you thought. Let me know in the comments if you'll consider reading them after what I've had to say about them. Okay, so off to a good start for 2025. I've already listened to 2 books. After the Count of Monte Cristo, I says, I'm going light, I'm going easy. I want easy listening. So I've had 2 good books so far, and I was happy with them, and I was able to breeze right through them. And yeah, so I'm off to a good start. Now I got to pick what I want to read next. I'll start it tomorrow. Oh, another note, I will be, excuse me, back at home. I've got the new hire trained well enough where, hey, I've been off 2 weeks now, so I don't know what she's been doing for 2 weeks, but I was confident when I left she was going to be fine. It's not like I'm not around. She could call me. I'm working, so you have issues, call me, and we'll talk it through, and I could train her from home. There's no reason why I can't over the phone. So I am going in tomorrow, though, because I've been off for 2 weeks. I need to check on probably the minimum of 400 emails that I'm going to have, and go through those, and voicemails, because people don't listen to the message. They leave messages when you say you're out of the office and you're not going to be back. They still leave a message. Stupid, right? Whatever. So I had to clear that off. So I am going in tomorrow, but after that, I will be back to my Monday, Wednesday, Fridays at home. So I'll be back to melting. I'll be back to being able to listen to my books, and life will be good. Hopefully. Hope. Fingers crossed, you guys. Okay, so that's my book wrap up for the year and for the month of December. Thank you for watching. I appreciate you. I appreciate the time you take out of your day, your lives, your busy schedules, and you watch a video I've uploaded. Means the world to me. And please comment, like, and subscribe. It helps my channel grow, and always looking to grow. All right, everybody. Have a great day, great week, great night, weekend, whenever you happen to be watching, and we will chat again real soon. Bye-bye.